Sports update show. It's Monday once again. Phew, these weeks are flying fast. I'm getting old quickly here. Not as old as Vern, but I'm getting old. Hope you guys are all doing well. See a lot of people in the chat this morning. Fantastic. I checked out the poll. That's doing well as well. I'll do the poll at the end. Let you know all the results. Don't worry. But we got a lot to get through this morning. We got a hell of a lot to get through this morning. So let's have a look. What we talking about? Of course, big motorsports weekend. We had Le Mans, we had the Formula One, we had NASCAR, we had IndyCar. Then, of course, the North American sports there as well. The Major League Baseball. I think some team called the Red Sox actually won yesterday. High Life, how you doing? They beat the Yankees, or as you call them, High Life, the Skankies. Then, of course, there was the golf. And then we have our two legends of the day today. Michael Jordan and Ayrton Senna. We're going to be doing that for 2 weeks. Every day we're going to introduce or look back at two legends of the sports. Criteria is you have to be retired. You have to be retired. Now, a lot of people say, I don't know, Lewis Hamilton's a legend, but he's still driving. He's still working on his legacy, so don't worry about that. But listen here, let's get into it straight away. Of course, first of all, we've hit 60,000. It's in that corner there, somewhere there it is. We've hit 60,000. So hey, thanks a lot to all of you. Big red heart to everybody that has subscribed and is helping out the channel and stuff like that. Fantastic. Talking about that, let me just get back. Wayne is also in the house. I see a lot of boys in the house this morning. That's fantastic. Wayne, I hope you got a sock on there. So, what does that mean? Keep on liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification button. And of course, become a member if you can. It's a very small fee, and it would be very much appreciated. This morning, we got a little bit different because our legends are coming at the end. It is Michael Jordan, and it is Ayrton Senna today, all right? But let's start with the United States sports. No, that's not right. That's the North American sports. There you go. Little look into the NBA. Look, no games yesterday, but we have a 2-2 final at the moment, and all going back to Oklahoma City. When is that? On Tuesday? There you said it's the 17th. That is tomorrow morning at 2:30. So let's check that game out. I will be doing Game 6 because Game 6 could be a decider. Maybe I'll do Game 5. We never know. We'll see. And then, of course, there's also a little bit of ice hockey going on, and that's the same there. There's also 5 games in the books, and the reigning champions, Florida Panthers, are up 5-2. So, yep, and they have a home game in game 5-2. They're up 3-2. They won the last game 5-2. So I'm going to be doing that game. I'm going to be doing the Oilers against the Panthers. Don't worry about that one. Then we move to the ladies. To the WNBA. I know High Life likes this part of the show. He is a big WNBA fan. I know that. So let's have a look at those results quickly. The Sky beat the Sun 78-66. The Dream beat the Mystiques 89-56. And the Mercury beat the Aces. That's the Aces out of Las Vegas 76-70. I know I have to check the chat. I knew it. I knew he was in there. All right. High Life, you my fan, man. I love you, man. I love you. High Life's fantastic, man. He loves the Yankees. He loves the WNBA. No, I'm just riling you this morning. I got riled enough this weekend. Don't worry. Let's have a look at the WNBA standing, because that just for you, High Life. You could choose your favorite team. Is there actually a team from Boston with the ladies? I do not even know. No, there isn't. But the Lynx, no team is unbeaten. The Lynx are up on top with 10-1, and the Dallas Wings are at the bottom with 11-1, 1-11. So that's your WNBA. Then we move into Major League Baseball. Now High Life is gonna sit up and he's gonna want to listen to this a little bit carefully. There you go. So, the Reds beat the Tigers 8-4. The Angels got thrashed 2-11 by the Orioles. The Rockies thrashed the Braves 10-1. The Marlins beat the Nationals 3-1. And now we stop. Did I get this right? Did the Yankees win? No, I'm just joking. That's just a bad joke on my part. The Boston Red Sox won 2-0. Oh, let me have a look. There you go. Morning. No, the Red Sox actually beat the Yankees 2-0. Yeah, look, that is maybe like the most iconic duel in baseball. I mean, the Red Sox and the Yankees have been going for more, like, what is it, about 100 years now? They've been going at it for each other, Two most iconic baseball teams for me. I have caps of both. I'm going to start putting the caps out there. I was actually going to put on a Yankees cap this morning, but I didn't want to upset High Life too much. The Blue Jays, they lost 4-11 to the Phillies. The Rays knocked the Mets off 9-0, and the Twins lost to the Astros 2-1. That's the first part. Here comes the second part of it. The Athletics beat the Royals 3-2. The Cardinals lost to the Brewers 3-2. The Pirates lost to the Cubs 3-2. 3-2 seems to be a good result. The White Sox lost to the Rangers 2-1. The Guardians got blanked by the Mariners 6-0. The Padres beat the Diamondbacks 8-2. And the Giants lost to the Dodgers 5-4. So that is your Major League Baseball for this morning. Just going to go straight back to the chat. I know you've won 5 of the last 6. Don't worry, man. What? You have the Rockies next. Ooh, that should be 4 wins. If not, that is not good. So that was your Major League Baseball this morning. Then we move on. Look, because there's so much to talk about. Let's have a look at those standings out there. In the National League, the Mets are on top, ahead of the Cubs and the Dodgers. And then, of course, in the American League, look, those Boston Red Sox, they're starting to creep up. They're over 500. 4 games against the Rockies should be 4 wins. So they should be at 41-36 by the end of the week. So let's have a look at that. They could be moving up the table nicely, catching the Yankees. Then we move to golf. Yes, it was the US Open in golf. And it was at Oakmont. It's the 125th US Open. 125 years of golf. Jesus, I feel sometimes like I've watched all 125 years. But here we go. JJ Spawn won it. I mean, outsider, big outsider. Look at that purse that he gets there. $4,300,000. Damn it. What a day's work for him, or a weekend's work. He came in first. He was the only player to be under par for the tournament at -1. Then Robert McIntyre came in second and Victor Hovland came in third. The big stars, Scotty Scheffler was the closest, with John Rahm coming in at tied 7th. Yeah, big surprise there, let's look at the man that won, JJ Spawn, his first major. Not the youngest player anymore, but well done to him, out there in Oakmont. So congratulations to JJ Spawn. I like it when some underdogs get a win there. Then motorsports. Ooh, hell of a lot of motorsports today. We're going to start with NASCAR quickly. There you go. Shane van Gisbergen. He won the race, and it was in Mexico City, that one, ahead of Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott. My boy there from Hendricks Motorsports. Alex Bowen, another Hendricks Motorsports boy in there. William Byron 9th. Hendrick, we're doing well. I love my Hendricks Motorsports guys. So let's have a look how this man, look, that's Shane van Gisbergen. Well done to him. Let's check out the standings in the NASCAR. It's Kyle Larson ahead of Christopher Bell and Danny Hamlin. They've won 3 races. As I explain to you guys every Monday morning, in the NASCAR, wins count more than points. So the more wins you have, the higher you're up in the table. You can have 4 wins but less points than somebody else, and you still be on top of the table. And every driver that gets a win makes the playoffs, but only the top 16 make it. If 17 drivers win, then 17 make the playoffs. That's as easy as it is. Then we move on to the IndyCar. The IndyCar was in Illinois, in Chicago, and Kyle Kirkwood won that one, ahead of Pete Patter Award and Christian Rasmussen. Scott Dixon in 4th. Scott Dixon is a legend. He's been going for years. Isn't Scott Dixon New Zealander? I think so. Great stuff out there in IndyCar. Leave it out there. This is the man that won the race. Kyle Kirkwood, sorry. Yeah, well done to him. Well done to him. IndyCar standings for you guys. Still Alex Palau out front there. He's won 5. Second is Pato, and third is Kyle Kirkwood. He's won 3. Yeah, I think there's only been 2 winners in the IndyCar this year. Huh? Looks like it. Then we move to the 24 hours of Le Mans. There you go, 24 hours of Le Mans, and it was won by Ferrari. And funnily enough, not the works team of Ferrari, but a privately entered Ferrari, the AF Corsa, with, got to get those names of the drivers, with Robert Kubica, Yaffe, and Phil Hansen. They won it in a private one ahead of the Porsche Penske and another Ferrari that, and fourth was also Ferrari. So Ferrari really dominated that. Cadillac doing well there in 5th. Toyota, the team that used to dominate the sport, down in 6th. Then again, another Porsche, Cadillac doing really well in the endurance car racing, and they are going into the Formula One next season. So watch out for them. Definitely have to watch out for them. Funny that Ferrari can do so well in the endurance car, but they are so cuck and shit in the Formula One. But this is your winning team. Obviously, the driver in the car is Robert Kubica. You don't see him, but the other 2 guys with Philip Hansen and Yaffe. Well done to them. Congratulations on your win in Le Mans. That is something very, very special. Must probably make a movie about this one. Then we move to the Formula One. And yes, Georgie Porgy pudding and pie kissed his Mercedes and made everybody else cry. Jeez, I'm a poet now. Now George Russell wins in the Mercedes. Dominant race, led from the beginning, pole position, bam. He took care of it. Good result for Max Verstappen. The young Kimi Antonelli, 3rd youngest driver ever to hit the podium with 18 years old and 200 and something odd days. I just heard that yesterday. I remembered that. Piastri, good 12 points for him, considering that his teammate screwed it up. And then the hapless Ferraris in 5th and 6th. I mean, they are just a disgrace at the moment. But it is all about Georgie Porgy, Mr. Russell. Other people call him Ben Russell, but it's okay. Well done to George Russell. He's a cool customer, this George Russell guy, and he was provoking the shit out of Max Verstappen. He was definitely provoking the shit out of Max Verstappen. But this guy, Lando Norris, or some people call him Pando Porras. I call him the jackass of the day yesterday. You cannot make that move, my son. You are fighting for a world championship. You can't make that move. You are basically trying to gift this world championship to Oscar Piastri. So you get a jackass of the day. Before we get to the driver standings, let me go back into the chat. Hi Life, you've been busy on the chat. I can see that, my lord. Yeah, Formula One losing a lot of fans, I think. Let's have a look at the driver standings quickly. There you have Oscar Piastri ahead of Lando Norris. His lead is now up to 22 points. Max Verstappen closing in. George Russell, I wouldn't count George Russell out. I think Mercedes is starting to overtake the other teams. I think George Russell could still get into it. Don't have to worry about Ferrari. They're so shit there, you know. They're driving like a car's a bloody Mini Cooper, man. Constructors, McLaren way out in front ahead of Mercedes. I think it's a 2-horse race. Hard for Mercedes to catch up. But if Lando Norris keeps on screwing up in races, maybe they can do something. Ferrari third, Red Bull, you know. Red Bull is actually the best team in the constructors because it's a one-car team. It's a one-car team. They don't have a second driver. I'm seriously thinking about getting a super license for the F1 to go drive for Red Bull because they need a good second driver. But on my current history of crashing cars, crashed my car last week, maybe it's better I stay out of the Formula One. I can't even get out the garage without destroying the car. There you go. Then, of course, the Club World Cup is there. The FIFA Club World Cup is on. Let's have a look there quickly. Just some of the results. Bayern Munich beat Auckland City 10-0. Now, listen here. I know High Life's a New Zealander. That is a good result for Auckland City. These boys are amateurs. They all work a day job. I mean, I don't know how this Club World Cup works, that you have Bayern Munich playing against amateurs. I don't know how it works. But I do know that they're going to earn a shitload of money, Auckland City, and that club is most probably set up for life now. So well done to them. Paris Saint-Germain thrashed Atletico Madrid 4-0. Big surprise there. Palmeiras and Porto drew 0-0, and Botafogo beat Seattle Sounders 2-1. If anybody's interested. Now let's get into our legends, because I've been looking forward to this part of the show. We're going to start with MJ, Michael Jordan. What can you say about Michael Jordan? For me, the GOAT. For me, the GOAT of basketball. I know it's very difficult to go through different eras and stuff like that, but let's get into it. His full name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. His his nickname, Air Jordan, or his airness, or MJ. He was born on the 17th of February 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 198 tall, 98 kilos, shooting guard, went to the College of North Carolina. He was drafted in 1984 as the third pick by the Chicago Bulls. Now you got to listen to this. I remember this. The number one pick was the Portland Trailblazers. And they chose, I think they took Clyde Drexler, if I'm right. They took Drexler, and they could have had Jordan, but they took Drexler. So Jordan fell to 3. Can you imagine Michael Jordan falling to 3? Unbelievable. He won 6 titles with the Chicago Bulls from 91 to 93, and then he had a little bit of a holiday, went to go play some baseball, and didn't play for the Red Sox. I think he played for the Chicago White Sox, but mostly in the minor leagues. And then he came back, and then they won another 3 titles from 96 to 98. He also won an NCAA championship in 1982. He won 2 Olympic medals, one in 1984 in the LA Games, and then, of course, the iconic Dream Team. Let me put that out there. Of course, with the Dream Team, he won the Olympics in Barcelona. That was actually when basketball skyrocketed in the world. That Olympic team put basketball on the map in the whole world. That was something fantastic. Of course, famous for his dunks. He won the slam dunk competition a few times, taking off from the free throw line. That was very, very iconic. Always had his tongue out. That was one of his iconic things as well. Then, of course, he won the MVP 5 times. He won the finals MVP 6 times. He was finals MVP in every finals that he was in, and he won every finals that he was in. What else we got there? I'm going to put out Mike's picture again there. Then let me just, was in the All-Star NBA first team 10 times, All-Star team 14 times, All-Star game MVP 3 times. He was an All Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. He won the scoring title 10 times. He was the NBA steals leader 3 times. He won the Rookie of the Year in 1985. I mean, he won the slam dunk competition twice. I mean, MJ, what a legend. A ruthless bastard. MJ was ruthless with his teammates, with everybody. So MJ was a very, very ruthless player. I liked him a lot. He got his done. He did everything. Defense, offense, steals. I tell you, and he would have had the scoring record, I think, if the 3-point was that important in those days. It was more important to get to the hole in those days. If he played in this era, people said, but he couldn't shoot the 3. He would have practiced 24 hours a day and would have been the best 3-point shooter in the league. So I don't want to hear no LeBron. I don't want to hear none of this crap. It's Michael, okay? I said it, it's done. And because I said it, it's true. All right, then we move on to our second legend, Ayrton Senna. Yeah, I mean, Ayrton, what can you say about Ayrton? A lot of people, he didn't win the most world titles and stuff like that, but I think he was one of the biggest icons in the sport. He made Formula One very, very interesting. I think he would have won a lot more titles if he tragically didn't die. Let's start off with some of the information on Ayrton. He was born on the 21st of March 1960. Of course, he died in that crash in Imola. We'll get to that later. What else do I want to tell you about Ayrton? I mean, look, he was only in the Formula One for 10 years, which is not a long time. He drove for Tolman, Lotus, McLaren, and Williams. He had 162 starts. He won the World Championship 3 times. Just go, that is where he started at Tolman. Then he moved on to Lotus in that iconic black John Player special car. What a car that was. And I mean, he didn't have the best car all the time, but he won the championships. He won the championships. And then he went to McLaren, where it really took off for him. He won 3 titles with McLaren. Lots of great battles with his teammate there, Alain Prost. That was fantastic racing. I mean, Senna, that was the days where you still, you went for each other in the Formula One. But let me just tell you some of the how do you say, some of the records he still holds. Most poles in a row is still held by Ayrton Senna, 8 poles in a row. Most starts from the first row consecutively. He started 24 races in a row, either from first or second position. That's unbelievable. That's still a record. Still the most races ever won in a row. He won 5 Monaco Grand Prix in a row. And he holds the record for Monaco wins with 6. Most pole positions in a row, 7. Never been beaten either. And he had, in a season, he had the 100% starting ratio off the front row. In the season 1989, every race he started from 1 or 2. So yeah, unbelievable statistics. I believe, look, I've got some stuff written down here. I think he would have won the 1994 championships where he passed away. There he was already at Williams. I mean, yeah, I think he would have won that. He had the first 3 races of the season, all 3 poles. I think he had the best car. He was the best driver. He was going to win that championship. But then sadly, that happened. Yeah, the big crash there in Imola. That was, yeah, in Emilia Romagna in Italy, near Bologna. We don't exactly know what happened, but it sounded like the steering broke. Didn't have a chance. You hit the wall with almost 300. In those days, I mean, they didn't have the hounds or all this protective stuff. So sad day. It was a sad day. 1st of May in 1994. It was a sad day for the Formula One, and Ayrton will always be remembered. I mean, Ayrton will always be for me. Maybe not the most. Of course, if we look at the pole, let me have a look at the pole quickly. Okay, Senna's out there in front. I think he was the most talented driver ever. I'll give him that. The greatest driver ever has got to go to Schumacher or Lewis Hamilton, because they obviously won the most world titles, or the most accomplished. I also think if you look at Fangio in the early days, his win ratio is higher than anybody else's. You can't compare eras or something like that, but Senna was definitely an iconic driver, and he made Formula One very interesting. So yeah, those are our 2 legends for today. Let me tell you who's coming up tomorrow. We're going to go with a tennis legend, that is Serena Williams. And of course, Diego Armando Maradona. Those are 2 legends for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys. Join me tomorrow. Thanks for it. Long show this morning, 24 minutes. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Hi, Life. I see you were very busy in the chat. Let me have a look. Ryan is in the chat as well. Okay, yeah. Look, you got to go with Schumacher and with Hamilton. I see that, you guys. I see that. You got to go with that. I mean, obviously the titles speak for them. Verstappen's got 4. Vettel had 4. Prost, I think, had 4. Senna had 3. Yes, but I just think Ayrton Senna, for me, was the kind of Formula One driver I like. He was ruthless. Max Verstappen's got a little bit of Ayrton in him. I must give him that. I'm not a big fan of Max, but he got a little bit of Ayrton in him. But listen here, that's the show for today. Join me tomorrow. Thanks again. And remember, otherwise my political advisor is going to get on my case. To like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And if you like, become a member. Ciao, guys. See you tomorrow.